Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are reviewing a movie that's an independent film called Cruel Summer, which was released in 2021.
Now, before, I'll mention this later, but there's also a movie of the same name in 2016. I believe there's a current TV series, or last year, of the same name. So,
yeah, not to be confused.
When you go hunting for it, always check with the name of the director, producer, main actors and stuff, because otherwise you'll be getting the wrong product. How's that?
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go then.
This one is on Tubi, obviously.
It's on Tubi or not Tubi.
So
it's also on eBay and Amazon, which we'll talk about later.
Yes. So,
okay,
yeah.
we always do the accessibility bit later. Fine. Okay, produced by Scott Tepperman and Jim O'Rea. Directed by Scott Tepperman. Written by Scott Tepperman. Scott Tepperman is actually in it. As what do you say, head antagonist.
Yes.
And Jim O'Rea, he has a bit part in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very much a hands-on approach.
Yeah.
Scott took care of the music. He edited it. He was the location manager and the scripting continuity. And Jim did the visual effects. So there you go then. Very much a hands-on approach, which that's one of the reasons why, even though I might not like the movie totally, I like what they've tried to do with what they had. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much the words I would live
Yeah,
by.
yeah. Okay, cast. Now, I don't know a lot of these people.
Neither do I.
Okay, Ashlyn McCain plays Heather. Bridget Linda Froeming, F-R-O-E-M-M-I-N-G, plays Felissa.
Melissa.
H. Marie plays Barbara. Harold McLeod II plays Tobin. Jimmy Maguire plays Doug. Seacott plays Robert. Will Horton plays Vincent. Scott Tepperman plays Gunnar. Jim O'Rea plays Heather's dad, no name.
No name in particular.
And Paul Van Scott plays Mr. Lustig. Now, getting back to, I read something here. Heather, wasn't that the lead girl in Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
Heather something or other. Felissa
Felissa Rose Esposito. I think her name is.
it was the name of the girl who played the role in Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Barbara, Night of the Living Dead. Tobin was after Tobin Bell. So I think it was a bit of a...
and Vincent might be Vincent Price.
Oh, maybe, yeah, you know. Yeah, but yeah, they had a few things here about respect for the people who've gone before them. Okay, here we go. I don't know anything about budget. I don't know about anything about box office because I think it's gone straight to home media.
Yeah.
So I cannot tell you squatto about that.
Yeah, they could have had a private premiere. I don't know.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Maybe.
That's
not much.
That wouldn't be indicative of a real box office. So if you want to, actually, this is number one. There was a sequel. We're not going to actually review the sequel. We might mention it in passing, though. But it's mainly we're going to review the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that? Good?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
So.
right, you carry on, Grizzly.
Yes, okay. So the story begins where a family get murdered at their cabin. Yeah, I'm going to say cabin, obviously, because this is clearly a cabin in the woods, like it's always portrayed in these movies. And
a cabin in a country town near the woods.
And they get killed by this local man whose identity is, well, you know him as only Gunnar.
Yeah, but we don't know he's a killer. He seems like a really nice man who's there at the time and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But you really...
you think he'll be the red herring, not the red herring in this one.
Yeah.
But no, he's not.
No, he's a spelling herring.
Yes, so it's a little bit of a, Anyway, so the story moves on where we meet our local local characters who are planning on doing a special trip to the same cabin to reenact a slasher murder, like a little bit like like when you play
like
Cluedo or
something.
something.
Yeah.
But instead,
or host a murder or something. Yeah.
but instead they're dressing up and turning off the lights and just prowling the house with makeup and toys and props and stuff.
Reliving the moment. How's that? Yeah.
Yes, and the girls are just finishing high school or college. I don't know what. I wasn't paying attention to that part. And then they soon arrive at the cabin with their male friends. I can't stand crop tops. There was one guy who wore a crop top, and it's supposed to be 80s themed.
And I look so terrible. Honestly, it's really
I'm so disgusted. Ugh. I never like crop tops on men.
No, females
fine.
But
Have the figure.
They just like someone cut half the clothes off them. That's
It's
all.
just-
They just don't look right.
Yeah, it's like watching a man's hair. Do you want to see his chest hair? I don't think.
Well, yeah,
Well, some
maybe.
girls like it.
Yeah,
I don't.
some girls
like,
do.
I don't like seeing it right
Hey, you
in
want to
front
see
of
a
me.
hairy man? Chewbacca. He's hairy.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeti.
and the whole shorts. I don't think so.
Yeah, like shorts and crop
Gross.
tops, and they're just nah.
So, anyway, they soon arrive at the same cabin, which is clearly where the whole slasher thingy wings takes place, obviously. And we meet some other locals in the area who sort of are either red herrings or just people who are just who live nearby. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's a
sort of
local
stuff.
handyman.
Yeah, Mr. Gunner or yeah.
No, not Gunner.
Oh, another one.
Gunner is the other guy. The other guy. I think I'm not sure his name. Obviously, not too. I wasn't paying too much close attention to the names. Obviously, I was more attention looking at the plot more. Anyway, so they settle in. They start getting their props and costumes in order. They also arrange a friend who was going to sort of pretend to scare the boys by being another slasher killer roaming the cabin to give them a scare. Of course, this backfires because the guy in question, he gets killed, and we see who his killer is, obviously. Gunner, obviously. And I always like when in these slasher type movies where you don't know the identity of the killer sometimes is. And this one is... Well, I know that there are a few slashers out there, like in Sleepaway's Camp sequels, it's pretty clear who the identity of the killer is in those ones, obviously.
Well, it's a continuing story. It's all like Luke Skywalker was Luke Skywalker in the second and third movie, wasn't he?
But in other Friday the 13th, after Jason kicks the bucket, they had a few possible, newer people who became, for a period, a little bit of like a Jason Voorhees for a time to continue the kills for revenge or for hatred or for any particular reason. Anyway, so the killing continues, and he begins to use a mask that's clearly of one of the guys, obviously. And sometimes you mistake him for one of their friends, but his build is different from the little teenage
it's like getting Pee Wee Herman dressed up as Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. He ain't gonna fit the clothes.
Or even, So it's all about
wrong shape.
It's all about the build, and they should have known that their friend's build, unless they assume he would be wearing a bodysuit, which I doubt.
Well,
it doesn't cover the fact he's a bald-headed person,
And he's probably shorter, taller, skinnier, whatever. Yeah, but
anyway, it doesn't matter. So the girls and the guys, they eventually run around and some of them get killed. I think more the guys, and they eventually are free. The remaining girls are left alive, obviously. And we learned the identity, Gunner, and we learned that he had either uncle or grandfather who assists him, and he also has two unknown nieces who also assist him. Whom I thought would make an appearance in the second movie, obviously, but they didn't, obviously. Anyway, soon enough, they eventually fight them off, and eventually they escape. And that leads us to our sequel, which came 1 year after this movie.
About a year later, yeah.
Yeah, where the girls are, our three girls who survived the night in question. They eventually go to the police, and they tell them everything. And of course, the killer, Gunner, escapes and disappears. And of course, this news doesn't come out until much later, later on, obviously. And the girls are trying to get rehabilitated and try to, get back to their ordinary lives. Of course, one of them decides to put on a play using the story from their experience as the main plot to it.
And to reenact it on their dilemma they went through on stage as a stage production. There you go then. So, a means of therapy, she says to them.
Yes. At first they reject the idea. So one of the other guys survived, who turns out he ends up being blind. Like he lost his eyesight when he got his eyes plucked out by the killer, obviously, and somehow managed to survive, obviously. Anyway, it's a first for me. Anyway, soon enough, the killer does finish the job on him, but eventually he starts tracking down our girls, including their nearest and dearest loved ones here and there, who have kept secrets of their own, like her father and mother didn't tell their daughter about the killer might be still around and stuff like that. And her father even had an affair behind his wife's back, and eventually
that's the best place to have it.
But eventually, we do get some grimy kills. Sometimes you can see from a mile away how not really gorish they are, mostly. I keep thinking, when are we going to get something really gory, obviously?
Well, they were a limited budget,
True.
So,
I also noticed a couple of times I heard the retractable blade in a couple of scenes. I think there was one scene I heard the ch-ch.
Yeah, they could have doctored the sound a bit, in post, but
aside from music stuff, they couldn't. I think some scenes they didn't have. There was a bit of audio issues with it, but I'm not going to pick at it. I mean,
no, it's a low budget independent film, so you sometimes you can't do everything. Okay.
Anyway, so soon enough, the girls get confronted by the killer, and they race away, trying to get away from him. Of course, turns out one of her friends, turns out she wants revenge on her two friends who abandoned her in the cabin, thinking that they just left her there instead of check if she was still alive. And all that stuff.
Yeah, bugger.
Yeah, so she wants her. Yeah, but unfortunately, she gets killed by Gunner, and of course, the two remaining girls, they fight him off. Of course. Then, eventually, the two remaining girls they head off, and eventually, the movie ends there. I mean, I know that's very quick, guys, but
goodbye. See you later, bye.
But I didn't want to go on going into such trivia
the nitty-gritty
plots
of it all,
because most of the time there's no, aside from it's like the Chainsaw Massacre. There's no complete story to why the killer is chasing after these people.
Well, there sort of is and there isn't. I mean, didn't it come out that it was their family home?
Yeah.
And they, excuse me, I think their friend, there's an Afro-American guy there, he's actually was adopted into the family as well, but no one actually knew about it amongst his
I guess
it
would be a nice twist.
For some reason they said the house is for sale, but it's not for sale. It'd never be for sale, always be ours. So they had to sing about family, The family bond and keeping everybody together and blah 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 and different things. And and I think really the people who they killed first off were
a family that was living there, probably.
and they probably were thinking of buying it, maybe different things. They got rid of them.
Yeah, I think that either Heather or one of the other girls, who's said that their aunt and uncle owned the cabin and they were going to use it for that weekend to do that whole slasher
they did
weekend
say
thing.
that.
Yeah.
But these locals say, hey, it's ours. It doesn't matter who bought it.
And the guy Doug, who was the kid we mentioned, who was in the family, he wanted to take revenge because none of them paid too close enough attention to him. He was the outsider.
He was a fringe dweller in the group. They sort of ignored him a lot, and they tried to. He's over there. Well, we won't talk to him today. We don't want to waste our time today. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Clicky groups and stuff, and
yeah. Anyway, so what did we think of the movie? So, what did you think of it? I mean,
now, look, obviously it's clearly not an A-grade movie. Okay,
I give it a B.
No, you understand. It's an independent film. I'm not even going to give it a B or C or D, whatever. It's independent films of this nature. It can't be graded the same as say a cinema release. Okay. Because these are the A grades and that sort of stuff. So now I can see what Scott has been trying to do. Scott and Jim. They've tried to make a good movie on I gather it's on a limited budget. Okay, so hence obviously it's not quite as polished as an A grade movie. But it's getting down towards a B if you want to use a classification. But having said that, when you got a guy like Scott, he produced, directed, wrote it, did the edit, did the music for it. He's a very hands-on guy, and even if you don't like the end product 1,000,000%, you got to give the guy a lot of credit for trying to put something together and doing it himself. So, how would I put it? It's a good watch. I'm not going to say it's on top of the pile. It would be, to me, a little bit down from there, but it's a good watch if you got nothing else to do. And not being insulting to Scott, it's just that it's not a movie I'd go out of my way to see like a second or third time. How's that?
Yes. So.
Well, what do you reckon?
Well, let me think. It's not a bad movie myself, but I wouldn't. I give it a few marks for a little bit of effort. Yeah. That's what I can think of. Not so much in the story department, not so much the acting
most
department.
Most of these stories are pretty much the same.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a little better, like as I said before, I like slasher killers where the identity is unknown and you only halfway through or by the third act, depending on who's telling the story, then we know the identity, obviously, of the killer.
You don't want to come. You don't want to let the information out too quick, and they did really.
They were too quick about the story. Like once you know about the killer's identity, you don't want to stick around.
Yeah, the genie's out of the bottle. You can't put him back in. There you go. So excuse me. I've got a bit of sinus trouble today, so just bear with me.
Once you know the identity, you don't want to sit around to watch.
Yeah, then you go to the toilet, put the kettle on, that sort of stuff, Well, they had the same thing with Maxine, wasn't it? We got an idea who the
killer was, roughly.
Right, because Maxine came off X, and it was her daddy was the minister of religion, and he had this TV ministry and different things. And I said right at the beginning, I reckon it's Dad. Even though you didn't see him, you knew it was Dad. He was doing his religious thing. So what do you do?
Beats me.
So sometimes it's good to hold all the cards. Some of the cards back so you don't see the full deal,
Yeah, because if you happen to reveal all the details, even though There are some movies that have done it in the past, like I said, with the other sleepaway camps, second and third in the fourth movie, they let the possum or cat out of the bag, and
The dead possum?
yes, and there's no reason to hold it back, even though most slashers, even if the identity of the killer is in jail or dead, you still need to keep the identity unknown until
You hold a few things back for mystery and suspense and that sort of stuff, yeah. If a telegraphy punches too much and everyone knows what's going on and stuff and blah, 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 all of a sudden you've lost something, it's,
I guess it usually depends on the mood and the way you present it is the big question.
Yeah.
I mean, is the fact that when they did present the news, this is the killer you'll be following the next couple of days in next couple of scenes. You feel like it just feels very a loose story. Like
yeah, well, that's the way it goes. So it's.
I mean,
it ends up I wouldn't say it becomes like a sitcom, but he's I know it's going to happen next. They said that last time.
I know that other movies, like aside from Sleepaway Camp, we have the Last House on the Left. You know the identity of the killers in that one, and you watch,
that's true,
you know what they're planning or going to do to the victims. Of course, then the penny flips on the other way, and the parents go after the killers.
That was a nice twist at the end. I like that.
It was an interesting twist.
Vengeance be mine, saith the Lord. Well, and also Mum and Dad.
Yeah. Anyway, it made for an interesting twist.
Yeah, it did. I like that.
And the same I could say for the whole Jennifer's body. I mean, I Spit on Your Grave type one, where we don't know the identity till we eventually. The girl starts taking revenge on the guys, and we know that this happens in the second act, obviously, and so we have no reason to hold back what's going to happen next, obviously.
Yeah. Now, there's not a lot of reviews like Rotten Tomatoes stuff. I did glean a few from here and there. There's a couple of commercial ones, real reviewers, and basically it's... they either like it or don't like it. One of the guys said, hey, it's really, really good because he can see what Scott and Jim are trying to do, and he gave it a really good rave, and the other person said, no, I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. The other guy was sitting on the fence. In the middle, it's like that. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, depending on how you view independent films. There were a handful of... viewer reviews.
Yeah,
same sort of thing. Some said 1 out of 10, and because they don't like independent films.
And others who are a big fan of the 80s
exactly right.
classic, cult classic ones, they try to give it a positive review by saying how much they love 80s stuff, and they like the fact it has an 80s theme to it.
Some of these viewer reviews even gave it 10, some gave 7. So there was anywhere up from 5 up to 10 for the good reviews, and there's a few 3, 4, 5 bad reviews based on people who don't like this sort of genre. How's that? That's the best way to put it, I think.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, we haven't actually given it a score.
Should we write this? Should we rate them as a whole, or should we rate them separately?
Well, we're mainly reviewing the first film, which I think is probably. We'll review them as a whole. Yeah.
Rate them as a whole. Yeah.
I'm going to give it 8.
I'm going to give it 8 too. Obviously, to be
8
fair.
As well as now. Like I said earlier on, it is available. If you want to watch it on Tubi, you can get a free watch. I like that. And you can also get it on eBay. It's for sale. Amazon, it's for rent or for sale. But again, there are other listings. There's another movie with the same name. There's a TV series. So when you go hunting for it, look for Scott Tepperman's name, and Ashlyn McCain is the leading actress. and you should be getting onto the right product. But remember, there's also 1 and 2. So if you want to get one, have a look. Don't like it, don't worry about 2. But yeah, Tubi might. Did we get Tubi on? Did Tubi have number 2 on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both on Tubi. So if you're not real sure, go and have a look on Tubi or some other streaming service. You might find it, being it's not that old. And have a look at it there. If you want to actually add it to your collection, we got it through eBay, Amazon, and Amazon Prime. If you want to have a bit of a rental job, yeah. So it's going to be a short one today. We don't normally do short ones.
Yeah, well, if it's a story that has you gripped by the mind and by the heart, then it's something to discuss more.
Quiet,
But such a plot that feels hard to place.
It's a basic plot. We went there. These guys tried to kill us. There's not much you can say about it.
And most of the time, it had a lot of not so good padding scenes, obviously. Like the part with her father making a cameo in such scenes, like where he decides to go on his computer and types up this killing happened here in this place, blah blah blah.
And then he goes to the police station and then country town and blah blah this and blah blah.
And that was like when the sequel comes out. We don't even. He doesn't. This is in the first one where he types up this information. That was in the first episode. I mean, first movie, obviously. Yeah. And we think, does this mean he's going to come to their rescue? Yada yada. We don't even see a glimmer of him.
No, never mind. Poor old daddy.
Oh yes. Anyway, so I was a little let down in the story.
That's okay. But honestly, as an independent job, written by, produced and directed by the same guy. I reckon Scott's done a reasonably good job.
Yeah, reasonable. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to knock him. You did pretty good.
Yes. All right. So that's it from us, guys. You know where to find it now. It's up to you guys to check it out.
Under 30 minutes. That's
not
bad.
I'll be sure to put a link at the bottom of the description bar so you can actually watch it in Tubi, obviously.
Yeah, I can put both links.
Both links.
Yeah, both links. Yeah, Tubi. Tubi will have both. When we watched them, we got them both there. Yeah. So.
Yes. So you can actually go and see them for yourself and let your mind work out how the story goes.
Yeah. Look, they're nice, friendly little things. There's not a lot of gore in them.
No.
Per se. But
no.
They're a good watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's it from us, guys. It's a short one. I'm sorry again, as per usual.
That's okay.
So that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and we'll see you guys for our next one. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now, and have a good week.
Bye.